Guys, this is the second time I'm having to film this video. I don't know what happened, but the first time did not save, and I'm pissed. I have a lot of things to talk about, so we're gonna try and get through this as quickly and as painlessly as possible. Hey guys, it's Chloe, and today I'm here with a brand new video. Today I'm here to talk about the books that I read in the month of December. So first of all, I'd like to go off right off the bat by saying today is December 26th. It is the day after Christmas. You guys are seeing this on December 30th. These are all the books I've completed up until the 26th. I'm still currently reading. I'm still trying to get some reading done before the end of the year, and we'll talk about that at the end of the video. So up until this point, I have completed 11 books, and I anticipate, hopefully, fingers crossed, completing 4 more. I'm not really good at explaining descriptions of books. I think we've figured that out in the nearly 8 years that I've been on BookTube. So I apologize if I don't fully explain what these books are about, and if I don't fully express myself as well as I want to. I'm irritated right now. So let's go ahead and talk about the 11 books that I read in the month of December. So the first book I read was Wrapped Up in You by Talia Hibbert. This is a Christmas novella. It is about 100 pages long. It is exclusive to Kobo, so I made a Kobo account just to get this. Christmas novella. I love Talia Hibbert. I enjoyed Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I enjoyed Take a Hint. I'm really excited for Act Your Age. But if I'm being completely honest, this romance did not vibe with me in the ways that I wanted it to. I still don't fully know how to explain it. In fact, I barely remember it, even though it has been less than a month, which goes to show how much I enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. It had something to get that half star, but for the most part, it was just 3 stars. I don't think it was bad. I just didn't think it vibed with me completely. So the next book I read was Vow of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. This is the sequel to Dance of Thieves, and it is also the companion series to The Kiss of Deception. It is set in the same world. It's been about 2 years since I read Dance of Thieves. I did really enjoy it at the time that I read it, and I did read a catch-up summary for me to be able to pick this up. I listened to the audiobook, and this picked up right where Dance of Thieves ended, and I thought this was pretty good. Normally I don't read a lot of fantasy, but I have been dipping my toes in there more and more, so I ended up giving this 4 stars. Next, I read In a Holidays by Christina Lauren, and let me tell you, this one snuck onto my favorites of 2020 and my favorites of all time. So this follows Maylin, who at the end of her Christmas vacation gets stuck in a Groundhog Day-esque time loop and is reliving the Christmas vacation over and over again. This is such a good read. I highly recommend it. As soon as I was done reading it, I knew that my friend Desiree from Livery Labra had to read it. I bought it for her for Christmas, and it was so fucking good. This is definitely my favorite Christina Lauren book of ever. It's also Friends to Lovers, which was great. And I definitely recommend you check this one out. Even if it's not Christmas time, just check it out because it's so fucking good. Next, I read The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Gu. I should probably mention that this book, as well as In a Holidays, were for 'Tis the Season-a-thon, which I'll link my vlog in the description below for you guys to check out. Of course, now my camera's dying, so now we really need to hurry. This one is probably my favorite of the 2 Maureen Gu books that I have read before. This one follows Clara, who gets in trouble at her high school's prom, and she has to work on her father's food truck for the summer. I really enjoyed it. There were a lot of times where I was really pissed off at Clara, and there were other times where I was laughing out loud. So I definitely recommend checking this one out. I did listen to the audiobook, and I gave it 4 stars. So next, I decided to dip my toes into Christina Lauren's YA work, and I read Autoboyography. This one follows a bisexual teen who lives in a very Mormon-heavy town. I was really interested in seeing how the sexuality was going to work with the super religious aspect of the town and the love interest, and it ended up going about as well as I thought it would. This was pretty good. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was definitely different because it is a YA, and I'm used to Christina Lauren doing adult romance, or at least that's what I typically read from them. So this was very interesting to read a YA romance from them. I also listened to the audiobook for this, and I'd like to point out that it has 2 narrators, but the second narrator doesn't come in until the last hour and a half of this book. So next I read Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston, and this is that gorgeous Owl Crate edition that I could never shut up about. This is Ashley Poston's first fantasy novel. She's written contemporary and she's written sci-fi. This one is fantasy. And this was the BookTube Chicks book club pick for the month of December. So I'm not fully going to talk about this because I'm going to link the live show in the description below for you guys to check out. I'd like to point out that I rated it the highest out of everybody in the group, which I rated it 4 stars. I've noticed I've been dipping my toes into fantasy more and more, obviously, and actually enjoying it. I recommend checking this out. Part of me was worried I was going to hate it, especially after buying a physical copy of the book, but I ended up really enjoying it. So check out the live show, link in the description below, so you can hear more of my thoughts as well as Kathleen and Desiree's thoughts. Next, I read Permanent Record by Mary H.K. Choi. This is her sophomore novel. I went into this knowing absolutely nothing, and I listened to the audiobook like I did with many books this month. Our main character, Pablo, is going through some financial issues and issues with college. And he works at a bodega when he meets a pop star named Leanna Smart who walks into his bodega one day. There were many times that I thought the main character was being really stupid and he needed to get his shit together. Overall, I really enjoyed it and I ended up giving it 4 stars. Next is a book that I know some people have been waiting for me to read, and I finally got around to it with an audiobook, and that is I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. If you are looking for a book with non-binary rep and you haven't read this book yet, definitely check it out. Our main character is non-binary and their parents end up kicking them out of their home and they move in with their sister that they haven't spoken to in 10 years. This one was pretty good, and I do know that a little Christmas novella sequel came out that I'm definitely trying to read very soon. This one got a lot of hype when it came out, and it is definitely well deserved. 5 stars. Next, I read another book that's probably my favorite of 2020 and all time, and that is One Day in December by Josie Silver. My friend Desiree from Libri Labra read this book and immediately told me that I would love it. Her and I have very similar taste when it comes to our adult romances, and she got this for me for Christmas, and I was able to pick up the audiobook and listen to it in a couple of days, right before Christmas too, so this was perfect. I definitely recommend the audiobook for this because the narrators just have something, maybe it's because they're British, I don't know, but their voices were just magical and perfect for this book. This is basically set across 10 years. There's 10 chances at love, and it is just phenomenal. Check this one out. Next, I read another Christmas related story, and this is Hauntings and Humbug by Melanie Karsak. This is a steampunk retelling of A Christmas Carol. This is only 92 pages, so it is really fast to get through. You can get through it in probably like an hour or two, but I ended up really enjoying this and giving it 5 stars. I think I ended up liking it more than her Beauty and the Beast retelling, which I loved. So this one, definitely worth checking out. If you're looking for something that's a little darker but still Christmassy and has that like wintry holiday-ness to it, this is definitely the one for you. This, so far, takes the crown as my favorite. So the final book that I'm going to talk about is My Calamity Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows, otherwise known as the Lady Janies. This is the 3rd and final book in the Jane's retelling series that they've been doing for the past 5 or 6 years now. And this one is also western-y, which is different from the other ones that they have written. I ended up really enjoying this. I gave it 4 stars. It did take me about 2 weeks to read just because I was having a hard time sitting down and reading a physical book, and also I was having some personal issues that I had to deal with right before Christmas. So I finally was able to finish this a couple of days before Christmas, and I ended up really enjoying it. They also have a new series coming out of retellings. These ones are following different Marys in history, and the first one is following Mary Queen of Scots, and it's titled My Contrary Mary. The cover is gorgeous and I'm so excited, which is why I wanted to make sure that I read this before that one comes out next year. This one also has a supernatural twist with werewolves, which I think is really interesting, and I definitely think you should check this out if you really like historical fiction and also retellings. So those are all the books that I read in the month of December. Really quick, we're going to talk about what I'm currently reading and my plans for the next couple of days of the rest of the month and the rest of the year, and so on and so forth, even though you guys are seeing this like the day before the end of the year. Alright, so my audiobook is currently Ghosts of the Shadow Market by Cassandra Clare. I have 2 hours left in the audiobook, so I'm probably going to finish this right when I'm done filming. This is a collection of short stories set around the Shadow Market and specifically Gem Carstairs from The Infernal Devices. And the other book I'm reading right now is Happily Ever Afters by Elise Bryant. And this was sent to me also by Epic Reads. I won a giveaway. This comes out on January 5th, so I'm trying to make sure I get this done soon. And I have about 200 pages left. So these are the 2 books I'm currently reading. And then I'm also trying to get 2 more books done before the end of the year. I know that sounds super ambitious. I have less than a week left, but I'm really gonna try my hardest to get this shit done. I am participating in the Clear Your Shit readathon. I'm very low-key participating. Technically it ends on the 27th. I am personally cheating and extending it to the end of the year, which is why I'm trying to get more books done. So guys, that is all I have for this really long December TBR and for my final video of 2020. I have a lot of exciting videos planned for the first couple months of 2021. I'm ready to get out of this hellhole of a year, even though we're still gonna be in a pandemic when the clock strikes midnight. It's not going to end. But I have so much stuff planned for the new year and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. It's very soon, hopefully. But that is all I have for this video today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for an amazing 2020. And I hope you guys continue to stick around and watch and see all the fun things that I have planned for the new year. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you like what you see here, please go ahead and click subscribe. I post new videos every Wednesday and Saturday, so click subscribe so you can be updated for when I post those. I have a really fun video wrapping up all of 2020 coming hopefully very soon. It's a really big video that I need to start working on. But stick around for that as well, hopefully coming in the next like 2 weeks. If you'd like to support my channel even more, consider checking out my Patreon linked in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video and I'll see you guys in 2021. Thank you all so much. Bye! In the darkness, I don't feel so cold. The ashes fall like rain, and somehow we're okay. My story drifts between shadows and smoke.